What's up, everyone? Well, another important aspect of before a season can get going is knowing who you're going to play and when. So the 2017 schedule came out last night for the NFL, and of course, a lot of my fellow Eagle vloggers were doing a video about the schedule, and I thought I'd follow suit. Um, you know, very interesting schedule. The Eagles are actually playing with a last place schedule because they finished last in the NFC East last season. But it is a tough schedule because they're playing against. Let's see, they're playing against the NFC the NFC West and also the AFC West, as well as a few other teams. They played some of the other last place teams from their respective divisions in the NFC, such as the Panthers um, and the Chicago Bears. Both of those games are at home. Now, the interesting thing there is that the Panthers, I mean, a couple of years ago were in the Super Bowl, and now that last season they finished in last place in the NFC South. So that's certainly going to be a tough game, and it's at Carolina. I'm sorry, the Panthers actually it's at Carolina, and the Chicago Bears are coming here. So that was a little misspeak by me, but yes, they're playing at Carolina and home against the Bears. And so let's get right into it. Let's get into the schedule. You know, I'm going to reserve my record, my prediction for what the Eagles' record is going to be uh, after the preseason has come to a close, only because it's not a finished product just yet, as we know. They still have to get through the draft, and there might be another few moves here and there. Who knows? So, as far as what's the Eagles' schedule going to be? I'm not really going to divulge that just yet. I'm going to wait until after the preseason, like I said, and then I'll give my little season outlook, and I'll give what I think the records are going to be at that point, and go with it that way. And sorry if I disappoint people, but I always have done it that way, and I that's just how I'm going to do it. So anyhow, but I will get into this schedule game by game here and give some little reaction per game. So it starts September 10th, a 1 o'clock start at Washington against the Redskins, and the Redskins have beaten the Eagles 5 straight times. Um, Going into that game, and I really hope the Eagles can beat the Redskins this year. It's getting a little annoying, continuing losing to the Washington Redskins, and of course, the Redskins made a few moves in the offseason. No more Deshaun Jackson, no more Pierre Garcon. They do have Terrell Pryor now at wide receiver. It's a pretty good receiving core even without Jackson and Pierre Garcon. But we'll see going forward. But anyhow, it all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Washington against the Redskins. So looking forward to that. As always, it's great to start a season, and particularly when you can start it against a division rival, it's even better. And the last time the Eagles started the season against the Redskins in Washington, it was a win. Of course, that was the beginning of the Chip Kelly era, and we all know how that ended. So, um, anyhow, let's continue on. Week 2, so, Sunday, September 17th. They're playing against their former head coach for the second time since he has moved on to Kansas City, Andy Reid. The Kansas City Chiefs, Week 2, 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox. Arrowhead Stadium, always a tough place to play. And the last time the Eagles played the Chiefs was in, I believe, yes, it was Chip Kelly's first season as head coach of the Eagles. It was here in Philly, and that was a loss. So hopefully they can rebound and somehow. It's a tough place to play, Arrowhead, though. It really is. Great fans out there, great atmosphere, and always a tough place to play. So we'll see how that one works out. Again, I'm not going to give my W's and L's just yet. Maybe I'll break down the W's and L's in my preseason video, my end of preseason video. So, again, be on the lookout for that in a few months' time. All right, so week 3, Sunday, September 24th, against the New York Football Giants. It's the home opener for the Eagles. And, again, hey, you know what? They start their season on the road against the Redskins. and their home opener is against another division rival in the Giants, a team that the Eagles have fared pretty good against over the last how many years. It's been the Redskins that we've had trouble beating, and Giants though they've seemed to do okay with them. So we'll see. Home openers are always exciting. The start of first home game of the season. I'm sure the fans are going to be all pumped, and it's a good matchup. In that first home game against the New York Giants. Week 4, they go back on the road. This time, the first of a few West Coast trips. They will go to L.A. to take on the newly minted Los Angeles Chargers. It is a little different not calling them the San Diego Chargers anymore, but they're now the Los Angeles Chargers, and they're playing at StubHub Center, a soccer stadium. So a football team is playing at a football stadium. But yeah, until the Chargers get their new stadium, they'll be playing at StubHub Center in Carson, California. Now, that's a 4:05 Eastern Time, so that's the first time that we will have to wait until 4 o'clock or later to watch an Eagles game. The Eagles actually have 5 primetime games this season, and even though the Eagles came off a last-place record a season ago, the schedule makers still like seeing them in prime time, so they're giving the Eagles still 5 primetime games. Hey, the power of Wentz, right? So, anyhow, that is their first matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. Of course, they played them many times as the San Diego Chargers, so we'll see how that one works out. Week 5, they come back home to take on the Arizona Cardinals. That's a 1 o'clock Eastern Time start. And, the Cardinals have been a real bugaboo team for us over the years, so we'll see how that one goes. Not a lot of great memories playing the Cardinals. Even back when the Cardinals were in the NFC East, always gave the Eagles trouble. Always gave them trouble. Of course, we lost to them, back in, what was it, 2008, 2009, actually, I guess I should say, at Arizona in the NFC title game before the Cardinals lost in dramatic fashion to the Steelers in that Super Bowl. But, yeah, not a lot of great memories playing the Cardinals. I've been to 3 games when the Eagles played the Cardinals, and they're 1-2 in those games. So, again, hopefully, they can do better this time against the Redbirds, but we'll see. All right, so then Thursday, October 12th, they play at Carolina. That's the first primetime game. That's a Thursday night game, 8:25 p.m. against the Panthers, and the Eagles and Panthers have played quite a few times, it seems. Schedule makers love having the Eagles play the Panthers, although this time it's, usually it is because of the where they finish in the respective divisions, and of course the Panthers last place, the Eagles last place, so they meet again, and they meet in Carolina Thursday night. That should be an interesting game. See if the Color Rush jerseys coming into play in that one. I'm sure the Panthers will be wearing their light blue jerseys, and we'll see if the Eagles have some sort of uniform to put on for that game. They don't play a home game for Thursday night, and I know with the Color Rush jerseys there was some talk that maybe, if the Eagles had a home game on Thursday night, they would break out like a Kelly Green set, which would have been interesting, but seeing that they're on the road, probably not going to do that, but, you never know, right? All right, then Monday, October 23rd, they're home against the Redskins. That is an 8:30 game. That's a Monday night. Of course, Monday night, yeah. So back-to-back primetime games. Thursday night at Carolina, and then the following week they come home for a Monday night game, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN against the Redskins. Will Kirk Cousins be the quarterback this season for the Redskins? Will he get traded during the draft here in Philly? We'll see. Never know, right? So then the next week, the following week, Sunday, October 29th, a few days before Halloween, Eagles take on the San Francisco 49ers, the chipless 49ers. 2 of Chip Kelly's former teams going at it. The Eagles and the Niners. That should be an interesting game. And another home game, so that's good. 1 o'clock start on Fox. Then Sunday, November 5th, they take on the Denver Broncos. That's an interesting matchup. The Broncos, the last time they were here was when Brian Dawkins returned as a Bronco. And of course, he got a huge standing ovation. Eagles ended up winning that game. And yeah, the Eagles haven't fared well against the Broncos on the road all that much, but here it's been the Broncos who haven't fared well against the Eagles. So hopefully that trend continues November 5th, 1 o'clock p.m. start. Then they have the bye week. Bye week, I think I want to say that's week 10. And I like the late bye week. I don't like the early bye week. I didn't like it last year, even though they got off to a 3-0 start. It's like they had that bye week and it just all went the yeah, it didn't go too well after that. So I kind of like the fact that it's a late bye week. I think teams like that too because you play a number of games. You kind of have that week off ready to rejuvenate. Like it's better to rejuvenate late in the season than at the beginning of the season. But anyhow, that's the bye week, and then the following week, week 11. There's the first meeting. Week 11 at Dallas, a Sunday night game, primetime game, 8:30. Come on, we owe them from last year's primetime game. The Eagles should have won that game. If Doug Peterson just would have kicked the field goal, and of course, the field goal was good, the Eagles, I think, would have won that game because that would have put them up, I think, by 10 at that time, and I don't think Dallas would have came back. So, come on, we owe them for that one. So we'll see what happens this time around. 8:30 on NBC. And here's the Bears game, November 26th. I want to say that's week 12. It doesn't show the weeks on this thing. It just shows the opponent. Lincoln Financial Field, 1 o'clock Eastern Time against the Bears. And I have been watching that series, very cool series on ESPN called We the Fan. And it's about the Bears fans. Sitting, what is it, in section 250 or something like that. Very cool. I mean, I've always thought Bears fans, like Eagle fans, were very diehard fans. We've been through a lot. Of course, they have a Super Bowl to hang the hats on. But, we're two fan bases that really care about our teams. And we've been through a lot. So shout out to the Bears fans out there. Maybe I'll see some of them next Saturday at the draft. And so there you go. So yeah, the Eagles play the Bears. They play the Bears a lot too. It's like almost every year they seem to play the Bears somewhere in there. All right, so I want to say that was week 12. Week 13. Yes, the return trip to Seattle. Hopefully this time Russell Wilson won't catch a touchdown pass. The return to the land of the boom, the Legion of Boom. The 12s will be out at Seattle. Now that's a Sunday night game. Last year I think it was a 4:30 start, but this year it's a primetime game at 8:30 on NBC Sunday night, CenturyLink Field. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks doing battle with the Eagles. There's a lot of trade talk out there about Richard Sherman. At least there was for some weeks ago. I don't know if it's still very heavy, but there was some talk that the Eagles should go after him and put a package together to try to get him. That would be interesting if the Eagles somehow do land him and he returns to Seattle that game as an Eagle, playing for our Birds. I don't think that's going to happen, but one can dream, right? It's like me dreaming about Mike Trout being traded to the Phillies. I can hope, can't I? I can dream. So then they stay on the West Coast the following week. God, I wish they listed the week. I had the weeks known before, and now I'm just I'm trying here. I think this is 14. Yeah, 14. Okay, this is week 14. I was right. Good. Sunday, December 10th. That's a 4:25 Eastern Time start, and it's against the L.A. Rams. Wentz versus Goff. I still think we came out the better of that draft. We'll see. I'm just saying. And you know what? It's cool when you have two quarterbacks who were drafted 1 and 2 going up against one another, and it's their first meeting against one another, and it's of course in L.A. It should be interesting, and hopefully Wentz will get the better of the battle of picks number 1 and 2. I'm glad they took off. Okay, so now week 15, the rematch against the Giants at the Meadowlands this time. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern start on Fox. And the Eagles, again, have done pretty good against the Giants. In fact, in that stadium, MetLife Stadium, the Eagles have a winning record. I know they lost last season, But they have usually beaten the Giants in New York or in the Meadowlands for since the Giants opened up that stadium. In fact, the Eagles have a winning record at Dallas too, at AT&T Stadium. So they have pretty good records at those two new or semi-new, stadiums. So hopefully that trend can continue. And then here we are, Week 16, Lincoln Financial Field, Christmas night. The Eagles played on Thanksgiving 2 years in a row. One went well, the other, well, it didn't. But last year there was no holiday games. Well, actually there was. They played New Year's Day against Dallas, and they beat them to end the season. So this year they play on Christmas night. So you get your gifts, and then you get ready to watch the birds. So I think that's pretty cool, though. I look forward to that one. Christmas night, I'll have my Christmas Eagles hat on. Hopefully we can get a win there. I see you, Pistol. I see you, Raiders Nation. Last time, more than likely, unless they play in the Super Bowl at some point within the next few years, the Eagles will be playing the Raiders as the Oakland Raiders. Of course, in a few years, they'll be moving to Las Vegas. I don't know. That doesn't really sit too well with me either. But it is what it is. It's business, right? So they're going to be moving to Las Vegas in a few years. So this might be the last time the Eagles play the Raiders as the Oakland Raiders. So we will see how that one goes. Christmas night, 8:30 Eastern Time start p.m. on ESPN. And to wrap up the season, just like, hey, it was last season and now it's this season. It's the same time next year. They finish off home against Dallas. Yes, Dallas comes here to end the season just as it was a year ago. We'll see if that game has division championship ramifications. You never know. 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox. Of course, it could be flexed if it means something. We'll see. But it's Sunday, December 30th, the last day of the year 2017. New Year's Eve day. The Eagles will be playing Dallas. They beat them on New Year's Day. They started 2017 with a win against Dallas. Now we'll see if they end 2017 with a win against Dallas. So that is how the season looks. That's the breakdown of it. That's who they're going to play. Again, I'll get more in depth in the video that I make as the preseason comes to a close. Maybe just before preseason game number 4, I'll do my outlook video, and I'll have a little. I'll break down the schedule a little more. I'll try to get the W's and L's in at that time and give you my record, my preseason record, what I think the Philadelphia Eagles will end their season with record-wise. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to the draft next week. I'm going to be there. I don't have tickets to get inside to that massive stage that they've built on the Art Museum, but I do plan on going next Saturday and just to look around, be in the massive fellow NFL fan humanity that's going to be in my hometown next week, and I look forward to it. I'll be wandering around on Saturday. If anyone sees me, feel free to come up. We'll shake hands, and no matter what team your allegiances are, well, maybe Dallas fans, you guys can just. I don't know if I want to shake your hand. No, I'll be cordial to them too, but say hi, and for anyone coming down, even if I don't see it, if you're coming down for the draft, enjoy my hometown and all that it has to offer. It's a beautiful city. There's a lot to do, a lot of historic stuff. I know with the draft it might be a little tough to get around at times, but maybe whoever comes down can take all that there is to see in this wonderful city of Philadelphia. And of course you have to visit Mitchell and Ness. That's a must. If you don't do it, I'll know. You gotta go. There's a few things you have to see here. The Liberty Bell, you have to get yourself a cheesesteak or of your choice wherever you want to go for that, and you have to go to Mitchell and Ness. And if you don't do that, I'm gonna know. So, anyhow, enjoy. Anyone that goes to the draft, enjoy it. Have a great time. I welcome you in with open arms, and enjoy my city. And, you know, for all my fellow Eagle fans out there, let's go Birds. As always, the schedule is out. Now we know who we're playing, when we're playing them. We knew who they were playing, but we didn't know when. Now we know. So I'm excited for it. And, you know, I'm happy that the draft is less than a week away. And looking forward to seeing who the Eagles take. I'm still hoping, and I know I said what my pick would be. It would be McCaffrey. I'm still kind of hoping they take McCaffrey at pick number 14, but we'll see. There's been some talk about defense too. I understand that. I get that. We need some cornerback help for sure. It would be nice to have another linebacker for sure. So if they get that, I'm happy with that too. But you know what? McCaffrey, you know, I would like to see another, you know, a good running back on this team, another weapon for Carson Wentz in the arsenal. So, you know what? Whoever they pick, I just hope they make the right decision and it works out. I say that every year. You never know with draft picks how they're going to work out. You just never know. You can only hope, as the teams can too. So anyhow, everyone, thanks for watching. As always, that's my look at the Eagles' 2017 schedule. It's officially out now. Very interesting schedule, like I said. I'm excited for these games coming up. Good competition. There should be some really good games in there. 5 primetime games, including Christmas night against the Oakland Raiders. Maybe I'll see some of Raider Nation in Philly next week, too. All right, everyone. Well, that's a little look at the Eagles' 2017 schedule. It is here. It is out. We're ready for it, and we're ready for the draft next week in Philly. I'll see you all in the next one. As always, let's go Birds, and I'll see you all next time. All right, everyone. Take care.